anniversary with change. So I'm not a newcomer to the team. Hopefully it's more like an advantage than disadvantage. Let's say it like this. Maybe not so many bright and new ideas from the beginning, but at least I have all the necessary knowledge how to make the teamwork, what kind of operations processes we need to optimize, so that we can still continually run like a safe and trustworthy business, even more so as we are now almost 50% less of the staff. But there's a separate question also from you guys related to that topic, so I will maybe then elaborate a bit later. But maybe as a summary regarding the last quarter. So for me personally, obviously it was kind of like, let's say, a stretch in that sense that not only I needed to continue to be responsible of compliance and risk management function, I also needed to, let's say, successfully complete the handover process from previous CEO Christian. So I'm really open and honest there, saying that this process went very smoothly, and of course other team members can also maybe chip in how it felt from their side. But yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories what comes to these kind of transitions. But nothing like this happened with us, and of course big role in this was played by the new majority shareholder, so Andromeda Capital, represented and led by Ingmar Matus. So I personally have a very strong relationship with him. And obviously, this was one of the cornerstone why this proposal was made to me in the first place to become an interim CEO. And during the past couple of months already, as the news went out, I have personally received a lot of positive feedback from community members, from investors, and some other people just closely following us. And also, what is maybe a bit of a surprise, is also a heightened attention from the press, and like change has obviously had this kind of attention in the past as well, but this time I feel that it is positive, and this is like a great thing to experience. Let's say it like this, and I really hope that we can fully utilize this positivity and this positive sentiment to really once again become like a known household name what comes to investments and maybe crypto specifically in the markets that we have in our focus, and Estonia being one of them. So yeah, so this is my introduction, and now I will give floor over to Gustav to maybe briefly explain how product has seen the last quarter.
All right. Hi everybody. My name is Gustav. Looking at the people who have joined this call, I think most of you have already been here for years. Older, I think, might be the oldest member here who has been here the longest time. So, ciao, Older. I think you are also one of the first guys we did a user interview with back in the day. So, awesome to see.
Thanks.
But also awesome to see our Estonian friends who have also been with us for a long time. So great to see that. Anyway, so I am the Chief Product Officer here. I'm concerned about P&Ls, revenues, costs, user metrics, the different products we offer in the app, working on different products in different times. So Change, as you all know, is a multi-asset investment app. So we offer crypto, we offer derivatives, we also offer a payment card. So we are in a pretty unique position. From year to year, we can slightly shift our focus from one product to another. So maybe like during the years when crypto isn't doing so well, we can put more focus on the derivative side, trading stocks, indices, commodities, and leverage. And when the, let's say, cycle turns in crypto, we can shift our, let's say, main focus back to crypto. So when you look at last year, then probably the biggest step we made was on the derivatives side of the business. We were able to add, I think, over 300 instruments. We had also significant growth, well, like relative to the low base, but still, we had significant growth in the user numbers of the CFD product. And also, I'm not sure how much we can comment on the very recent results, but let's say they are definitely on the up. Usually when you improve a product, you still need to wait anywhere between 3 to 9 months to see the results. So that's beginning to show. This year, I think what we can say is for the first 2 quarters at least, we will be focusing more on the crypto side. I would say the key reason is that we, in general, expect crypto to have a better year compared to the past few years. I would refrain from any outlandish claim that Bitcoin is going to hit 100K or something. But I think it's fair to say that the crypto space will have a renewed energy and vibe to it. So I guess you all already know that in January we had this spot Bitcoin ETF product approved, which brings institutional flows into crypto. And also in April, I think April 20th, which is also a funny date for it to happen. But the Bitcoin halving event, which will split the emissions in half, will take place. So there's a lot of bullish activity for crypto, and we are happy to ride this wave once again. A few things that we are working on currently that we can also promise to launch in the near future is maybe today, if you open the app, you saw 20 new currencies for trading. Some of the crypto bull run darlings, Celestia, Sui, Bonk, all these assets which customers want to trade, which have emerged over the past few months. These are now in the app. We are now over 100 assets, but there is still a long way to go. So we're looking at finishing the year at a minimum of 200 crypto assets for trading. But it can be higher as well, depending on how difficult it is to implement. We're also looking at adding a whole new set of wallets, so more crypto deposit and withdrawal options. We're adding Google Pay. I think, Henry, that's quite soon.
Yeah, hopefully quite soon.
In the app. And we have been working on our first web version of Change. So the first web version will have spot crypto trading. The first version is quite simple. So we will show you the portfolio. We will show you prices. You will be able to do market orders. We might have dark mode in there, but we don't want to put in too much effort before we see some traction like on this basic web version as well. So yeah, hopefully. I think actually Henry will talk more about it later.
Yeah.
I think we have a question
there was a
question about this
for
one.
that too. So what we have now changed is that now it's the engineering who will do all the promises regarding when we launch something.
Just to keep it more realistic, let's say it like that.
Yeah, so Henry will talk about this. Yeah, so I think over the next few months you will see that the competitiveness of the Change crypto offering will increase significantly, and we are all excited to see how it turns out. But yeah, I know we have quite a bit of questions, so maybe I'll stop my mumbling and move on.
But thank you, Gustav. And maybe before we move to the quarterly update, the numbers and also all the questions that you sent, then Marek and Gustav already introduced themselves as well. So who else we have here joining the call from our side with you today? So I'm Alice. I've also been in the team for 6 years, so pretty much since the beginning. Today, my core responsibility is everything to do with the people, the internal operations, and so forth. And then we also have two newer faces.
Hi. I'll go first. Hi, my name is Henry. I've been with Change now for more than 2.5 years. And I'm here today because I'm now responsible for the tech. So making sure that the application is there and that we add new things that Gustav just promised you guys, and making just sure that all of you can trade and do your daily business.
And my name is Martin. I have been with Change almost 3 years already, joined spring 2021. And my position is head of dealing. So I'm responsible for the exposure management, the CFD business, routing the trading flow in spot crypto in CFD. So everything is related.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
So yeah, if the app goes down in the future, you know that it's Henry. And if the instruments don't price correctly, it's Martin. So.
And if you are not happy with the assets that we have in the app, then it's Gustav. So
User experience is on me. Yeah.
So feel free to ping Gustav in the Telegram or even write him an email. So if you still know how to write an email. I just like once, not once, but just recently had a chat with the, let's say, 18-year-old who didn't know how to write an email. So it looks like we are getting to that place. But okay, guys. So very briefly about the numbers. These numbers were published in Telegram on our investor webpage, also on Thunderbeam platform. So probably the most significant number to mention here is the revenue that we generated. So there are many like underlying reasons, to what we can attribute this revenue change. Obviously, we saw crypto market picking up. A lot of activity related to that. We saw quite old customer cohorts from 2021 even, becoming active. And also this is reflected in this revenue number. So it's like maybe more like my personal take on it, but we saw the certain segment of customers using the increased prices to let's say to lock up some of the profits. Usually it is the case that that it's more difficult for people to, mainly like retail and unprofessional investors, to keep positions open if they are, let's say, in the red. So they are still in the loss. But if there is an opportunity to close after like a longer period of loss, some kind of a profit, then usually the average person tends to do it. And this also meant that we had let's say trading activity from that point of view as well.
And I guess what I can add, starting August up until today, we have seen ever increasing volumes and revenues, monthly active users. Like when it comes to like monthly active traders, like these numbers, what we're currently seeing, we haven't seen for a year and a half, maybe. So we can see that the cyclicality, is really doing its work. Last time, I think that was end of 2020, early into 2021, we saw, exponential increases in all the metrics. We're not there yet, but to the end of 2020 and where we are today, like they do have like remarkable similarities. So history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. So let's see how it will rhyme.
Mhm. And what comes to like verified users, then also we saw. I know that Gustav calls them like crypto tourists, but I rather call them like people who are just let's say dipping their toes, because now we see that like the increased coverage in media as well. What comes to mainly like Bitcoin price performance. So we see people getting their accounts open and getting themselves verified, but maybe not let's say depositing like huge amounts of money. So it's more to learn how the product works. It's more to learn like how the maybe crypto itself works. And we are hoping that when the market really picks up and we see new let's say new price records, then these people will make bigger deposits and become more active in that sense. So this is also very promising. And what else to mention here? Although like the funding remaining is still like a stable figure, meaning that compared to Q3 we had exactly or approximately the same amount of funding remaining. But let's say, as I already have taken certain steps, and by nature, let's say, I'm a bit more conservative. I would like to say more realistic, but okay, it's maybe up to interpretation. Then we have let's say factored in certain increase in the fixed cost part, and also the costs of goods sold. So that meant that although that the funding remaining is exactly the same in nominal terms, the runaway is let's say a bit shorter when measured in the months. But in the end, what I want to highlight here, what comes to funding, is that we have a new majority shareholder. And we have clear agreements what comes to making sure that the change is going concern, meaning that is let's say financially stable. So I think that these numbers now mean a bit less, but yeah, just to maybe explain how the numbers changed here. And of course, the people number. This is also something that I mentioned already, that we had layoffs during the second half of 2023, and then there was a question about like how we still managed, but we will then explain it under that question.
Okay, but then let's move on to the questions that you sent. So we have been gathering these questions from you for the last week and a half. We translated them all to English. We shortened some of them, but I will be going through all of them in the order that they were submitted as well. So then, this is the first question we got.
So the question reads, when will you open Estonian Telegram group? I had the honor to participate in the podcast recording Investori Tund. I know that it's done by Genius Media. Me and Gustav also participated there. So it is, I would say it's flattering to see that this topic still is on top of the heads of people. Because this shows that we have historically built strong community, and a strong community wants to voice their voices, so to say, sound their voices. But once again, the main reason why we decided to pause this Telegram group in the first place was directly related to the resources or the effort that it took to maintain the quality of discussion there. So from one hand, it was also used for this kind of like Friday night, pub or bar bantering. And on the other side of the extreme, let's say, it was also used for like raising customer support concerns or tickets. So I think that it sort of was all over the place, and I think that the only way to sort of keep the standard is to have like a dedicated person or dedicated team even to really like moderate this there. So like as it is already paused, then I would be really careful and have all the structure and the responsibilities in place before opening it up. But I'm really thankful for this question in that sense, that it once again proves that people want to be close to the company. Gustav, anything from your side regarding this?
I mean, I think you said it well. End of the day, I think we are, Estonia is one of the key markets, so we definitely see value in having it open. But we've had to be very ruthless in choosing what things we prioritize, what we work on, and also choosing the things we are not going to work on. This Estonian Telegram group is one thing out of, I don't know, 15 or 20 things which we stopped doing. So it's not that we've singled out this one thing. It's just that we are now a team of 23 people, and we commit first and foremost that we can offer the same service, the same quality, the same security. That's like number one priority, and everything else comes after this. But I'm hopeful we can reopen it this year, rather sooner than later. But yeah, can't make any promises.
Yes.
I think that's
So, and it's also like a two-way street. So the community also needs to, let's say, take a step towards us, meaning that we as a crew, as a community, we make sure that we keep the standard in these communications. But Andero, I don't know, like whether the Telegram group was the only reason for you to have a Friday night beer, but I personally welcome you to come to our office and let's have a beer one Friday night. So hopefully this will do as like maybe give back, let's say, before we open up the Telegram group.
Okay, but then let's move to the next question. This was from a former team member and regarding the ESOP tracking software. So today we don't have a dedicated software for
What
this.
is ESOP, Alice? What's ESOP?
ESOP is the stock option plan. So all of our team members have also stock options in Change. So we've been really since the beginning kind of in it together to also make sure that we have the same incentive for the long term. And we don't have a platform for tracking this, but you have all the same information still available and the comms as well. So there is all the info on your email. If there is anything ever gonna happen, any upcoming events with the ESOPs, then I will inform you as well. But also if you still have any questions with this, just like message me anywhere and I'm happy to help out with that as well. Okay, next one.
So this is question to me. Yeah? What is the status of CAG token? Do you have any plan to develop any feature in the app includes CAG token or list it on exchange or even airdrop it to users? Okay, so this means that I now need to go back to the history and very briefly, explain the chain of events. Let's say it like this. So the CAG was the original token that was used for the crowdfunding. So back in the day, these were, let's say, like the acronym ICO was used, but from from the regulatory and legal perspective, it quite quickly were categorized into this like, let's say crowdfunding category, let's say it like this. So for us as well, we consider this as a crowdfunding event. So indeed, in the beginning, the CAG token had not mainly, but only the utility characteristics associated to it. But while we were progressing with our project, with our business, we got a lot of let's say approaches by the CAG owners that is there any way to make it work more like an equity instrument? Yeah, meaning that you as a token holder get part of the, let's say, future success of the company. So it was not possible from the regulatory perspective to do it with the same token, because then it would have meant that the initial crowdfunding event was rather like a securities issuance, yeah. And if it would have been securities issuance, then you have a lot of requirements that you need to fulfill, and this was definitely something that what that was part of the offering of the token offering. But we managed to find a way, a legal way, how to deliver this equity exposure, and this was done by having like an interim token between like the real equity and the utility token, and this is where the CNG token came into existence. And before that, we made a community vote. Because of course it can also be that it's just a small sample of CAG owners voicing that they have this aspiration to have an exposure to equity. So just to be sure whether there's like a significant amount of people who have the same idea, then we conducted the vote. And to be honest with you, by heart, I don't know the results. You can check it from the blog, but I think it was like 98% of the tokens who participated in the vote voted for the let's say the equity-like token conversion. Effectively, what it meant was that the utility of the let's say the initial crowdfunding offering was now being exchanged to the equity exposure. And although CNG token was very close to a convertible note, so we needed to get not approval, because once again even CNG was not a securities offering, but we still needed to consult with Estonian FSA just to be on the safe side that the CNG token itself will not also be a securities offering. Then yeah, it was categorized as a convertible note, and now we are sunsetting CNG as well and delivering the promise that we made. Now, after end of February, all the CNG owners had the opportunity to convert their CNG into share units on Funderbeam platform. And Funderbeam is a regulated investment firm, meaning that the account structure there, the regulatory compliance that they need to adhere to is exactly the same. What comes to let's say holding the securities is exactly the same that every investment firm needs to adhere to in Europe, and also, for example, credit institutions in Estonia. So I have, let's say, received a couple of questions sort of challenging the legal setup of Funderbeam, and I can tell you that this is what the let's say biggest advantage that Funderbeam achieved at some point, that they designed a regulatory structure that is almost the same as having let's say the real security, the real share, so to say. And this is also a possibility So let's say that you have converted your CNG into share units. What you can do, from regulatory and legal perspective, you can withdraw these share units from Vanderbilt platform and convert it to the real shares on Nasdaq as well. I don't know by heart how much time or what's the fees there. But bear in mind that if you make this step, then you will lose the opportunity to buy and sell, or rather sell, because there's no market outside of Vanderbilt. And I personally would prefer to hold an instrument that is more liquid, meaning that I would rather hold a share unit than the share that is registered on my personal securities account in Nasdaq. So this is the path. Once again, CAG token does not have any economical benefit anymore. But once again, from our side, we engaged community at these pivotal moments, and I think that what we have achieved is something that is very, very unique. And I don't know any other company who has managed to deliver this equity to people who once participated in an ICO, let's say it like this. So yeah, so there's no plans with CAG token. So the only plans that we have is to be let's say a great company to have a stake in, either through share units or through traditional shares. So this is now our goal, and yeah, this is how I would summarize it. And this is maybe a sneak peek. We will follow up with a blog post at some point. But on this diagram, on this graph, you can see we plotted the price, or not the price, but we plotted the valuation of the company, taking the price of CAG, CNG, and share units. So we have but we have achieved to keep the formula between all these instruments very straightforward. So it has been 1-to-1 when we leave aside the 3 months period when the conversion ratio between CAG and CNG was dropping. So yeah, so 1-to-1 ratio, and you can see that there have been, let's say, opportunities to profit with the instruments that we have issued. So yeah, as I said, we will follow up in a very more detailed blog post to this, but I think it's a quite remarkable graph in that sense, and the peak there is very, very close to the moment when the Coinbase started to trade. So there was this kind of very, very bullish sentiment what came to crypto service providers, and so this also affected the valuation of our company.
Next question, Gustav.
All right. When will you add new coins? So everybody should be able to see 20 new assets. I think it's 20.
20, yes.
20 new assets already in the app today. So many of these assets which we added have emerged recently, and some of them are expected to do really well in this new bull market that we are anticipating to come. So feel free to check these out. With these new coins, we now reached I think 100 plus crypto assets in the app. But definitely we want to add a lot more. So as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at 200 minimum end of the year. And the same goes for the payments. So different deposit withdrawal options for more blockchains, the likes of Solana and others. So I hope this answers the question.
So when PC version, Short answer, we are aspiring to get it out, the first beta version in the end of February. So that gives us approximately 3 weeks now to iron out all of the issues that we see right now, the bugs that have come up during the internal testing, and then put it out there. And here also a shout out to the people who are in this call. So if you would like to be in the first batch of users who would get this internal early stage beta access to the web version, then feel free to write to our support and we will note it down. And once it is out there, you will have access to give us feedback to make sure that everything looks nice and is according to the needs.
Yeah, so maybe just to add a bit to manage expectations. So it's not going to be a rocket ship for sure in the beginning, but the goal really is to see whether there is appetite for this product. But we do have ideas like how to make it stand out. So there's a few things which our customers are missing in the app, which we could definitely more, let's say, easily do on the web. So one example is candlestick charts. So we can, introduce these charts in the web version. We can play around with them. We can add different indicators on the charts. We can definitely add more bells and whistles that are not present in the app itself. So the app itself, we try to, not turn it into a Boeing cockpit, that has like 100 switches and everything. But this desktop version, let's say, is, I think, a far better platform to add these things. So perhaps we can get some of the power traders to prefer web over phone. I know that, for example, Marek is coming to me like every month asking why
Where's my cockpit?
why we don't have candlestick charts and all those indicators. So yeah, this might be like a good place to find them, Marek. So right, I hope this answered the question.
But it was not my question. Just to be sure. Okay, this one is also for me. What percentage of revenue is passive account management fee? Great question. I know the answer, but I cannot, unfortunately, let's say, give this answer to you because, not all of you, probably no one of you is like bound to this kind of non-disclosure, let's say, clause. And this is unfortunately the level of transparency that we cannot afford. Like if this information will be released, then it will definitely give like a business insights to our competitors. But I would say, in the beginning as well, I sort of hinted, that we saw certain activity that were like underpinning the revenue of Q4. But related to passive account fee, what I can also say here is that we did very preliminary research, and we saw that this passive account fee activated meaningful number of accounts. So this drew attention, at least attention of a sample of customers that they still have account with us. They still have maybe even some assets with us, and they should pay attention to like what's going on in the market. So this was like maybe the most important let's say like learning that we can share with you from this topic.
Okay, about the team.
Yeah, how are we managing everything now with a much smaller team? So how to put it, I think the best way to maybe respond to this question is from like a personal point of view, but I cannot distinguish anymore between my personality and changes in that sense that, change is big part of my life, and the learnings that I make, I cannot attribute them directly to, whether I made it, outside or inside of change. But what I have sensed is that indeed the team is about 50% smaller, but the bonds between team members and the team in general, it says in itself is like twice stronger. So I'm not advocating to do something that Elon Musk did with Twitter, but with a bigger organization where everybody maybe don't fully grasp or understand their role, or sort of like how do they fit into the bigger puzzle, then it can be that you do not get any positive effort impact from any additional team member. So although we needed to make a really tough decision there, and following that decision, obviously we needed to optimize certain processes already, and even to really understand whether the things that we were doing have a significant priority. And this pushed us sort of against the wall to really look into the way we do business here. But what was clear, not only to the team but also to the prospective investor back in the day, who is now a majority shareholder, was that there are certain things that we cannot risk with. One of them being that we cannot risk with customer assets. Whatever we optimize, we need to make sure that nothing goes wrong there. Also, what is important is the relationships that we have with our banking partners, the relationship that we have with our regulatory bodies, not only here in Estonia, but also in the Netherlands. So this is where we drew the line, so to say. And yeah, there are still some things that we need to let's say optimize and agree upon internally. But other than that, I think we are at a really good place. There's nothing that we needed to, so to say, cross out from our 2024 plans. So I think that yeah, in the end, the result is much more positive and much broader than only the cost cutting part that maybe from external point of view, was the only benefit. Yeah. Guys, do we have some questions in the chat as well? Because we have only a couple of minutes left.
I think we had a few. Andero confirming he's coming from here, but nothing so far. But then we have 2 minutes, so maybe we take the last question, and then good to know for the next time as well that based on the amount of questions we get beforehand, we can also kind of schedule the call a little bit longer or shorter as needed for then. But then our last question we shall have time for today. Finance.
Okay, this is tricky one. So I can maybe open up.
In 1 minute.
In 1 minute. Okay. So let's say it like this, that, I don't want to discuss any competitors here, but the question is how does it affect you? And probably this means change, yeah? Then first of all, and the most important of all, I really hope that, the effect would be that the customers of finance would now draw a line and say that, okay, for example, paying maybe slightly smaller fees is one thing, but as a customer, I don't want to pay any fees at all to a sanctioned service provider. And it's not that, there's only this allegation, but, the senior staff of finance in the US admitted that they have supported with their service illicit activity, criminal activity. So as I used to be and still are responsible of compliance and risk management, then I was let's say it was like a very important agreement that I made when I joined more than now a couple of days, more than 6 years ago, that, being compliant is part of Shell's DNA. Because like in the end, I saw that, the crypto industry will also mature, meaning that, we will be in a quite similar place as banks, traditional banks and investment firms were already back in the day. And this is now also proved by the MiCA regulation. So MiCA regulation that sort of harmonized how a crypto service needs to be run in the whole European economic area. Is taking all the crypto service providers to the same level as like regulated investment firms have been. And now I see, of course, not only now, but maybe like a couple of years ago already, I see that, being diligent and being compliant is starting to pay off. Yeah. And my personal take is that, when the MiCA kicks in, we see a lot of small and also fishy and risky service providers to even move out of Europe or stop their services. And I see that this is a great opportunity for change, because like we see market consolidating, and I would be really surprised if we don't hear any kind of bigger, let's say, merger and acquisition news. What comes to crypto service providers, crypto sector. So yeah, I would not like to discuss any further, but yeah, I urge people to really not, let's say, look a bit further than just the fees, because like in the end, the fees that you save doesn't matter if you lose not only your profit but also the principal investment, the initial investment that you made. So yeah.
But then today we did have a few more questions as well, but we're out of time. But for next time, we'll take this into account as well. But then so far, thank you everybody so much. It was great to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
See you
Thank you,
next
guys.
quarter.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.